What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another deck profile here on the channel. Today, I'm going to be talking about the Levi Ackerman Vengeance-driven deck that I took to this week's Webcam Wednesday. That's right, Attack on Titan Apocalypse is out now and is legal to be played in your local game store or online here at Webcam Wednesday. Let's talk about it. 6 hand size, 31 health character. Man, this deck is what a blast to play. Pay a health for +2 speed. If you're at half health, +2 extra damage. And then the really cool part of this character is response. At the start of the end phase, add a weapon card from your card pool back to your hand. So if I play an attack and it gets blocked, or I want to use it on my next turn, I can lift it back up, or even more importantly, I can block with my weapon cards, respond, and then pick them back up to then be used on my next turn. A lot of using and reusing of attack cards. So let's jump into the deck. The overall strategy of this deck is to hit hard and hit fast. If you hit me down to very little health, I will come back with a vengeance. And so the idea of playing high value weapons is really important, like high velocity slice. If it is the only attack in my card pool, I can take in blitz and then snag myself a free momentum for incredible momentum outs. You'll see in a bit, as well as it is an incredible piece to pick right back up to then play again on the next turn to slam an extra momentum, as well as 2 high block, breaker block, and then on defense, and then respond Levi, pick it back up, and then play it again back on my turn. Also, pretty much the only deadlock piece in the deck. From here, we've got 3 copies of Defeating the Colossus Titan. This card is just my big bomb, and the coolest thing about this card is it says if I go to 20 health, I'm actually at the 15 health that I need to be at, because I will play this move, blitz, lose my 5 health, and then from here I can lose my 21. I can lose my 1 health to give this +2/+2. So 6 diff, 8 high for 8 whenever I'm half dead, and maybe a little bit more depending on how much health I'm down to spend on the blitz. Honestly, this card is just like an incredible opener to start the turn, cut my health down to this potent number, and then start swinging with the rest of my turns. It's not normally the finisher that I play at the end, but it is, again, the opener. But here is the finisher, kind of the same idea. We've got 4 walk the dog, 4 not 3. The reason is because I just don't have a 4th one of this. This if you want to be a little more aggressive and losing the health. This if you want to play a little bit more of a regular game. Walk the dog just says that 1, it is a way to re-buy back cards in my hand. Draw a card for each walk the dog in your card pool, as well as because I'm giving speed on all of my moves. I want to be able to. If they block, they will commit out a bunch of extra resources so that my walk the dogs then become 4 diffs, 6 low for 6, sometimes 4 diff, 8 low for 8 with powerful that redraws and yada yada. Cards very, very good. One of the main reasons to even look at bothering playing the air symbol. Next attune card we have is 4 Lethal Slash. I love this card. Yes, we are playing a 6 diff and a 2 check. The answer is just don't check them. But this card is very good as just a 4 damage burn attack that like nobody wants to block or interact with this because it gets to replace itself, and then you just churn through a bunch of extra stuff. I will say this card early is not that great outside of, you know, reducing my rival's life total to make the game a little bit easier a little bit later. But 4 damage in this character is not very much. And sometimes it is honestly worth playing this. They don't block it, leaving the card there in the card pool to respond and pick it back up with Levi afterwards. A very cool heads up play, but early 4 damage is not that big of a deal inside this deck. On to the main attacks that I wanted to play and then replay. We had 4 Violent Animus Shot. This card is a 6 high for 5, 4 diff inside my character as long as I pay the health. That says after it deals damage, my rival will randomly discard a card. Incredible opener to make sure that I'm allowed to use my walk the dogs efficiently, as well as after I hit you with this thing, instead of putting it to momentum, I will then pick it back up, and then you have to deal with this card again on your next turn, which means that you have to hold a high block. And if you have to hold a high block, it's generally 6 high, sometimes 6 high for 7. This card's just incredible. Also, a fantastic 1 low block with breaker that I can then respond and then pick it right back up. Man, the amount of surprising defense this character has is very cool. And then the next card that we have is Double Sweeping Daggers. I had this at a more of, honestly, but I think that 2 main and then maybe 1 or 2 more in the sideboard is totally okay. I'm a big fan of keeping this card pretty low because it's as good as the best piece that my rival has, and with a new format, a new event, a new pack have come out, it is interesting to know. I don't fully know what is the best pieces to be removing with this. So the cards that I hit were fine tonight, but they weren't incredible. And then the last attack, and probably the most interesting attack in the deck, is just 3 copies of Timely Counterattack, 3 mid-block, Breaker block, and so I can take and block with this move, Breaker 3, and then on my turn, on their turns, give me pick it right back up. And then I've got a 3 difficulty attack that gives itself a conditional 2/2, so it could be a 4 low for 5, and then with Levi, I can make that a 6 low for 7. 6 low for 7, 3 diffs are very, very good, especially whenever you can pick them back up at the end of your turn and then block with them for breaker and then pick them right back up and then play them and play. And then you see the pattern, you see the loop here. This card absolutely overvalued today. It was incredibly good, and I am very, very happy with how this one performed. I might cut it down to a 2 of, because once I had one, I felt like I never needed a second one unless somehow I failed my block. And so there it is. There is the weapon package that we had for tonight's event. Let's move on to the nons. Let's talk assets first. We got 1 Cape of No Return, just a very free way to deal with answers. If my rifle's attack is so fast that I can't block them with my cool Breaker 3 block, I'll just remove it from the game and then not have to bother to deal with it. 1 Tattered Costume. I think this card is going to be seen all over the place because I think actions are really strong, specifically the next card that I'm going to show you. Response after your rival plays a keyword ability or an action, cancel it and then redraw. You have to be playing this card inside of your deck moving forward in this format, I believe, just because of the fact that Fulfilled with Doubt is just such an incredible card. Response after your rival plays an attack, seal it. A trap coming out of the hand that just says that, hey, the power dunk that you're trying to play just doesn't work. Hey, I'm at 20 health and I'm trying to come in and try and kill you with a defeating the Colossus Titan. Hey, Filled with Doubt is just going to absolutely, totally, completely shut off this game plan. Very annoying card to deal with and fight through. From here, next action is 1 Genkai's Guidance. Very similar to that Cape, except for, again, they can do calculations to fight the Cape. It's way harder to do calculations to fight the Genkais because it's from hand, so they don't necessarily know that it's coming. And then my last action is just Ares Smiles. After I block with this card, they have to play a non-attack card. Truthfully, I had this in my hand multiple times tonight, and I didn't block with it one time. I would probably cut it for another foundation, just because of the fact that the main card that I actively want to block with all the time, like this is my main blocking trick, is just the Breaker 3 card rather than the Ares Smile. But I'm sure that there are some places where the Ares would be better, so maybe look at it in the sideboard rather than the main board like I had it tonight. On to the foundations. Let's start aggro foundations. I've got Nezri-chan of the big 3 destroy foundation. This deck gets +1 damage if it's fully blocked. Gain 1 health. Very good in conjunction with Levi wanting to lose health to give +2/+2. So now +2/+3. And then if you block, I get to have an extra instance of Levi's activation. There was at one point tonight where I went down to 1 health and I couldn't use my guy anymore. So this card would be very good at letting me push extra damage through. In the same vein, another lock breaker. I've got Pressure Vial for 1. I think with the power of the air weapons that exist now with AOT3, I think Pressure Vial for 1 is going to see a huge resurgence of a destroy 2 foundations. Your weapon attack is +3 damage. I think this card is very strong, and I totally think that more people should be playing it. It's also got a solid 2/4, 1 mid block, so it like feels good in your hand, and the forecheck is not that detrimental. Up next, we've got 4 copies of Banshee Swords Shriek. This is response flip. After I play an attack, +2 damage. Feels very good, especially in the early game when my character gives +2 speed, so +2 speed, +2 damage. It also absolutely saved me from one game tonight where I had 2 of these out. My rival put up a massive walk the dog, and I had responded for -2, and I got left at 1 health. So the fact that I was allowed to do that felt very good. Next card in our aggro is Openly Doubting. I don't know exactly how I feel about this card. On paper, this card looks very cool as a 1/5/2 high block response. After your attack is blocked, it gets +2 speed or +2 damage. The fact that it's modal, if you get to pick +2 speed or +2 damage, is pretty good. But my character gives speed on the stats. So it's a little hard to block. It really felt like I was either blocking with this card, or if my rival asked me to flip a foundation, it was always this one. There might be some better value, but this card did end up letting me win and squeak out some games pretty early, like turn 2, turn 3. And so there might be a world where like it's supposed to be a 2 of and we find 2 other slots, but I played at the 4th tonight and it did not feel terrible. Up next, speaking of speed, we have double rifle arm, enhanced commit. If this is the only attack in the card pool, it gets +3 speed, otherwise +2. It also works the other way of -2 or -3 depending. This card's great. I think this card is super, super rad, especially if you are, if your rival has some resets. I'll use Levi to give it the 2 speed. They'll reset it. All right, I'll give it the 3 speed, and you still have to interact with it. But the commit cost is a little high, but it makes up for the high commit cost of it's useful on offense and defense. I think the card's very good. Up next, I've got a 1 of This Is My Chance. 1/4, 3 low block, enhanced flip. If this deck is fully blocked, it gets +2 speed. And then if it's fully blocked, clear it. Very good to play double copies of things like High Velocity Slice. I'll play the Slice, I'll flip the This Is My Chance. It gets blocked, it gets cleared. I play the next High Velocity. It's still the only one in the card pool. I'll slam an extra one. Feels great. I think this is absolutely a if you like it card. I think this card under pretty much every air character feels very cool. Add a 1 of. I don't think that I would go very much more than this. On to some flow, we've got triple latent skill, flip, discard 2 cards, draw 2 cards. This character has no inherent draw on their abilities, and outside of lethal slash, I'm going to draw all my attacks, and so this is the way that I get to find it. My draw is that my pokes are very good. I play a poke, and then I'm allowed to add that attack back to my hand, so I did not lose the resource of the playing of the attack. Up next, I've got double Ryukyu's agency trainees. Foundations are very good. You saw the amount of aggro foundations that I have, and I want them on my board. This card says that after you block my move, I can commit, and then build down my next one. Things like a pressure by all for 1, I think feels very, very good. This card also beats Breaker, which is great. Never got to really use the deadlock response on it, though. It was always just about building the extras. From here, we've got 4 capture the target. If I have 3 attacks in my card pool, which I am opt to do, if it is committed, once per turn, re-ready it back up. Just digs my foundations a little bit deeper, especially if my rival is not falling for my tricks and they are not committing foundations for me to have very cheap walk the dogs. I can play the walk the dog, commit my 3 foundations, play my 2 more moves, and then ready them back up. It's like my walk the dog was paid for, and so there's that. Up next, I've got 4 copies of A Life in Danger. I am running a 2-check deck under the air symbol. There's no reason for me not to be playing This Is Zero Diff. Response after I check a 2 or less, I get +1 of that check. And so I can take and flip a couple of these and say my 2s then become 4s, and that feels pretty rock solid, especially as I'm playing the 6s in my deck. Up next, we've got double incompatible quirks for our defense. Enhance, it's kind of flow as well. Commit for -2 speed, and then remove a foundation to then re-ready it back. Not only is it doing its best capture the target impersonation, but it is a good -2 speed whenever you need it, especially because the card that we are trying to block with the most often, I will find it, I promise, is this 3 mid-block breaker block. And so having a good amount of speed that is repeatable to block, to be able to accommodate this block, I think is important. Up next, we've got a singular copy of A Moment of Normalcy, enhanced commit. Let's put this thing back to its printed speed or damage. I think this is just the absolute definition of a staple. Hey, once per turn, if you try to kill me with this big 1-hit KO move, it's just not going to happen. Make it normal, and then or I can just block your move. Hey, it's 70 speed. Actually, it's 4, and I'll make the block happen. Card's super good. You have to be playing this one pretty much in every deck. And then my last card is just double copies of Shabujan's Message. Shabujan's? I don't know. We've had this card for a year, and I still don't know how to say it. Response flip. After I block a thing, breaker, give it breaker 2. And so being able to take and give this guy breaker 3 and then breaker 2 feels very solid. Or if you don't have one of these, just trying to disrupt and end their turn in a better way seems okay. As well as, it's a pretty decent spam. And that's it. That's the whole list. It's a little attack heavy, truthfully. If I was to go back and rebuild this list, I absolutely would. Look to cut some attack cards and make it a little slimmer, just because of the fact that I get to play and then reuse the attack cards. It just feels really, really good. So with that, thank you much for watching, and as always, I wish you well.